What's up, guys? It is Carly here bringing you your weekly dose of horror, and today I'm going to be talking about a movie that is a little more of a recent film. I believe it came out in 2013 or 2014, and that is Almost Human, which is an IFC Midnight film, and oddly enough, this one also has to do with sort of alien abduction, alien type of stuff. I just got done reviewing all the Alien movies, and we move on to this one, which is kind of sort of the same thing, but not really. It's like a totally different plot, but I just thought it was funny. It's still dealing with the same, I guess genre type of thing going on, but anyway, Almost Human, this movie centers around a group of three friends. Two of them are dudes, and they're like best friends, and then the one is a girl who is the girlfriend of the one guy, and it opens up with them sort of in this house, and there's something weird going on around the town. There's like these mysterious flashing lights or something going on outside, and they don't really know what it is or what's going on, and the one friend, whose name is Mark, goes outside, and there's a flashing lights, and then he disappears. No one knows what really happened to him, and then you flash forward to 2 years into the future, and he's still missing. His best friend's still kind of messed up about it. He's sort of like doing a little better, but he still remembers everything and is messed up. The girlfriend, she has kind of moved on. She has like a new fiance, and she's just trying to live a normal life, but these two hunters are in the woods one day, and they actually find this Mark character in the woods, but he is not himself. You could tell that something is off about him, and the story kind of goes from there. I saw this movie once before, about a year or two ago. I believe JP actually gave me this DVD, and I didn't know what to expect going into it, but I actually had a lot of fun with it and remembered really enjoying it, and I definitely say the same thing for this time around. I think it's a fun little sort of take on the whole alien abduction type of films. You have this Mark character who is obviously got some sort of, it's not really him, it's like a new life form is kind of living inside of him, and he is very violent. That's one thing I will say about this film. It says in a few quotes that it's a very gory film, but I wouldn't necessarily say that. There is gore and blood in it, but it's more so on the violent side, especially with the kills and just brutality of this character, because he's kind of just after one thing. It's sort of his mission to meet back up with his ex-girlfriend, and he's not really letting anything stand in his way, and when something does stand in his way, he's just very, very aggressive and violent towards people, so I will give it that, and I think this is actually the director's first movie, and for that I think he does a very good job. Is it anything special? I wouldn't say really. No, it's not anything special. I think it's sort of a basic plot line, but it's definitely a fun movie, definitely one I would recommend putting on with maybe a group of friends. I think the acting is really good in it. I really enjoy the main characters you follow, with the girlfriend and the best friend. It's supposed to take place, I believe, in 1989. When it opens up, it says the setting is 1987, and then of course you go forward 2 years, so it's supposed to be like in the late 80s, obviously, but with throwback movies like this, I feel like it's kind of hard to get that right, and I feel like this movie really doesn't do that too much, besides the fact that you have the old, bulky televisions, and no one has any cell phones, and the cars are kind of old, but besides that, it doesn't really look like it's set in the 80s. You could have just set this in normal time, and it would have been alright, but at the same time, I appreciate the sort of throwback idea that this director had for the film, as well as just for the story as well, because seems like alien abduction films and stuff like that would have been coming out more in the 80s and things of that nature, so you don't really get a whole lot of these movies nowadays, so I do appreciate that. Overall, it's a very fun movie. The story, like I said, is pretty basic, and it only runs 79 minutes, so it's a short watch. It's very to the point, and I really enjoyed it. It's, like I said, it's very violent at times, and I give it credit for that, and it's actually got some moments that are kind of creepy as well, and there's one thing that happens in this movie a few times that is kind of reminiscent of The Thing for me personally. Special effects in this movie are alright. You don't really get too many of them, but when you do, I think they're pretty decently done. But overall, fun movie, definitely recommend it. It's, like I said, short watch, something you could just throw on if you want for fun or in the background, and just to pay attention to as well, because it's a pretty fun movie and has a decent plot. So this one I give a 7.5 out of 10. So yeah, thank you guys once again for joining me for this weekly dose of horror, and as always, I will see you next week.